Hi everyone, this is Ariane Reed and this is my 5th month on T. So this month there has been some changes. The number one change would be in regards to passing. So I now pass about 90% of the time and for long periods of time too, like with one-on-one with someone. So that's been really cool. Also my voice has been dropping and the range has been improving, like I have more of a range. Just a little bit, but for the most part, my voice still seems pretty weak, so I'm trying to be gentle with it. But it does seem a little lower, raspier, kind of like manly, which I'm pretty excited about. But I have been pretty sick lately, so it's also been feeling pretty weak and kind of like, I don't really have like a consistent handle on it. It kind of will drop away, as in like it kind of disappears and it feels pretty thin and comes and goes. Something I forgot to mention in my last video was my forgettingness. I've been feeling very scatterbrained in general, just forgetting things really quickly. Like I have to write things down immediately. Granted, work's been really busy, but people, come up to me, I'll be like, hold on, you cannot say a word to me right now until I finish writing this thing down. And it gets really embarrassing when things fall through the cracks. So thankfully, I already have a system in place and I have been working on improving it and just doing the best that I can. And I seem to be handling it pretty well, I would say. And partly because I was already going through something like this before I started T. So now that it's just gotten worse, I just, I've been sticking to my system and making things work for the most part. I've also noticed that I seem much stronger, and to the point where, I guess maybe I don't know my own strength or something, but I've been finding that I'm kind of injury prone. Random weird things keep happening to me. I pushed a button on a crosswalk and somehow lost the nail off of my finger. I did that and my nail, cracked off. And I'm not someone who grows out my nails or anything. I never was. That meant that I literally did not have a nail over my finger. I also put a dumbbell back on the rack at the gym incorrectly and so hard that somehow I tore my finger off. Not tore my finger off. I tore some skin off of my finger. Not much, and it's kind of grown back. It's that pink area. But yeah, I tore my finger on a dumbbell. So just weird things like that. The other thing I've noticed is that my boobs are really, really small. I know I mentioned this in my last video, but they're even smaller now. And to the point where, I actually had a go-go boy at a gay club run a hand down my chest, and I immediately froze and was like, oh my god, he now knows the secret. But no, he did it. He still gendered me as male, and I can't believe I got away with it. But yeah, they're really small. My pecs are they're very firm. There's much more up top than, below, and they're looking very masculine. It's pretty cool. You would think that them being so small would make binding easily, but really it doesn't. So what happens is I have trouble getting into my binder because I feel like my shoulders might be a little bigger and definitely stronger back here. But I do, a lot of shoulder workouts, so it could be partly because of that. But I wonder if there's also more weight just on my shoulders in general, because when I try to pull those binders down, I have such a hard time getting them down my shoulders so that I can then start just pulling it down my chest. But once I get to this part, then it's easy. My legs are also more defined. The muscles on my legs are much more defined because I feel like there's less fat hiding them. I feel like the fat has been moving up to other places. So, they're looking pretty cool looking. There's also been a lot of hair changes. Through here, there's been a ton of hair, just coming all over them. Unfortunately, not so much here, and unfortunately not so much here, but, maybe when the legs are done, it will start to, move its way back up. At the moment, I haven't really noticed any, changes on like my stomach. Haven't seen any hair at all, like on my chest, and not really any hair through here that I've noticed. I just have like that peach fuzz that like we all have, and maybe some of that is just like a touch longer. But no like actual like dark, real, like thick or coarse facial hair. But what I have been having is a bunch of white crap just like keeps coming out of like my skin, like particularly like through here, I would say. It's stuff that like you can just like wipe away. Like it's just a little goop, but like I want to say it's like skin oil or something. And that is just coming out of my pores, which I wish I would do to all my pores, because like I've had a lot of acne on my back lately. It'd be kind of cool if it all just came out instead of doing that. But anyway, I'm very hopeful that this white stuff coming out of my face is indicative of my body starting to create some hair follicles and maybe give me some facial hair at some point. So, maybe in the future. Fingers crossed. Also, something I've been trying not to talk about, but I should talk about it, but it's so embarrassing. My sex drive does seem much higher than it was pre-T, and it was especially high during months 1 and 4. When I started T and when I increased it, it would like shoot up, and then nowadays it's kind of, at a more of a controllable level, something that I'm more used to and can, I feel like I'm like maybe my body's getting used to it, and it's becoming something more that like I can handle and control. Less annoyingly overwhelming. Anger is also something that I've been experiencing this month. I had 2 instances this month where someone did something to make me like really angry, and the anger is much stronger than it ever was beforehand. And I'm not an angry person in general. I'm a very patient person, but my patience is like a string. Like it can stretch so far, but when you pull on it too much, eventually it can break. And when that happens, then like it's like this explosion of anger, and like this fire just rises up through me, and I'm like, I am angry. So as soon as I notice that that's going on, and I'll think in my head, okay, I'm getting very angry about this. I need to just hold back and just get through this conversation as clearly and intelligently as possible, and just kind of hold that anger in and only let it like leak out, as we're talking, just to fuel me through the situation. And once that situation has been dealt with, then go to the gym and just get it out, pumping iron. And if that's not enough, if 2 hours of just attacking the weights is not enough, then I'll go home and I'll write about it, or I'll vent to my husband about it, and just try to get it out. Because the thing is anger, like any animal, it serves no one until it's tamed. So you just have to tame it. The other thing that I have noticed this month is menstruation is still a thing. And not only that, but it's actually the cycles are getting shorter. Like in the beginning, like they suddenly lengthened from like my usual 24 days to like 40 days. And now they're like shortening again. And it was like 26 days. And the bleeding was even heavier, and the pain was more painful, and it just was like, it was worse. I don't know what's going on. My body is relentless. But hopefully, maybe at some point, something will happen. I don't know. I asked my doctor to increase my testosterone, and she basically was like, be quiet. I'm not talking to you until you've hit your 6-month mark. Then we can consider, changing your dose. I was like, gosh, dang it. So I'm just going to have to keep going through this for a while. The last thing I want to go over is something that I did not expect at all. Tingling arms. So from like here, like all the way through to my fingertips, I get really tingly, as if like my arm fell asleep. And it happens like most of the time at night, but mainly while I'm sleeping. But it also does happen sometimes during the day. Like I'll be working and like I'll be typing like with one hand, and like the hand that's resting will be like fall asleep. Or I will be trying to sleep, and especially during month 4 when it really started like first happening to me. It would wake me up, and several times throughout the night I keep waking up and like having to flex and kind of move around, and I'd fall back to sleep again once the tingling was over. But now I've just kind of gotten used to the tingling, so now I just sleep through it, and I wake up in the morning and my arms are just completely asleep, both of them, most of the time. And it's not always the arm you would expect to fall asleep. Sometimes, I'll sleep on my side and, I'll sleep on this arm, but this one is the one that falls asleep. Or I'll fall asleep on my back and they'll both fall asleep, or, my stomach and they'll both fall asleep. Like it does not matter like how I sleep, it happens. I've gotten over, for a while I was trying to figure out like how to sleep so that wouldn't happen. And then now I've just kind of given up. And realize that it's just gonna happen. I don't know what it means or how to make it stop or anything, but thankfully it's not anything that's super painful or super annoying. I'm sleeping through it now, so like whatever. I'm kind of curious what it means and like what's really going on, because typically when your arms are tingly, it means that like something is pressing on your nerves, and I don't know what could be pressing on my nerves. So anyway, that is the last thing that I wanted to mention this month. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for showing your support and your love for me. It means so much to me. So I really hope that this video is helping all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all again next month.
Hi everyone, my name is Aryan. This is my first week on T.
Hi everyone, this is Ariane Reed, and this is my 5th month on T.
This is my talking voice. This is my talking voice. This is my talking voice. This is my talking voice.
This is my talking voice. This is my talking voice. This is my talking voice. This is my talking voice.
Welcome to the fire. We have come to take your skin. We are the fire in the night. We are the empire in flames. We are the smell behind the sight. We are the breath breathing with them. We are the bones beneath the hood. We are the ones who are the names. We are the shadow in your blood. We know the city can't resist. We are the whisper on your lips. We are desire in your eye. We are black fire.